Hi, I'm Jillian, and I own a online health and fitness coaching business. I give Google Slides a 4 out of 5, and for more reviews like this, click below. So before I had Google Slides, I mostly used PowerPoint, and PowerPoint works just fine for slides that I'm working on my own. But Google Slides is much better for collaboration because I can send people things to edit and it actually edits in real time versus me having to send back and forth PowerPoint documents. I chose Google Slides because I use the Google Suite for mostly everything. So I use Google Docs, I use Google Sheets, I use Google Drive, and I honestly just felt like it was much easier to integrate than kind of bringing in another application. Makes my life easier because everything sits within the same email address, so I don't have to log into a bunch of different platforms. So I think that Google Slides is relatively easy to use if you know Google. So if you know how to use, Sheets and Drive and Docs and all the other applications within the Google suite that is located, um, in Google Drive, I think that it's much easier to use. But if you don't know how to use Google applications, I would say it's probably harder to use. I personally have been using Google applications for a long time. I've had Gmail for a long time. So I would say it was really easy for me to get started with it. As far as recommendations go, I would say if you're going to use Google Slides, you should use the rest of the Google platform. You'll find it much easier to integrate with the rest of your work if you're using the rest of the Google platform. I don't recommend using like Word and Excel and Google Slides. I would recommend using Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google Slides all together so that everything can be stored on shared drives as needed and shared with the right people so they can edit and view whatever permissions that you give them.